Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating medical paper that literally could change how we view healing. We're looking at umbilical cord stem cells and their potential to treat kidney disease. If you're into the cutting edge of medicine, how we can actually harness biology to heal the human body, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We've got some incredible data to get through today, so let's jump right in.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right now, modern medicine mostly focuses on just managing kidney disease once it hits a critical stage. But the research we're unpacking today poses a massive paradigm-shifting question. What if we could actually reverse kidney failure instead of just managing it? Like, what if we could physically repair the damage rather than just buying time? It sounds like sci-fi, I know, but as you'll see, the science is really starting to back it up.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the global kidney crisis, current treatment limitations, introducing stem cell therapy, umbilical cord stem cells, real-world patient outcomes, and finally, the future of care.
Section 1, the global kidney crisis. To really appreciate the solution here, we first need to grasp the sheer scale of the problem.
And wow, the numbers are incredibly sobering. The World Health Organization estimates that between 5 and 10 million people die every single year worldwide from kidney diseases. We're talking about a massive death toll, driven by things we see all the time, right? Diabetes, hypertension, systemic infections. To put that into perspective, that is the population of a major city just wiped out annually. The sheer volume of human suffering here is exactly why researchers are working around the clock to find better answers.
And unfortunately, the trend, it's moving in the completely wrong direction. Data projects that by the year 2040, chronic kidney disease, or CKD, will be the 5th leading cause of death on the entire planet. So the demand for renal replacement therapies is just skyrocketing. Why does this matter to us? Well, it means our current healthcare infrastructure is on a collision course with a major crisis. We desperately need new ways to stop this disease in its tracks before it hits the end stage.
Which brings us to Section 2, current treatment limitations. If so many people are suffering, why are our current mainstream solutions falling short?
Think of your kidneys like a highly advanced biological filtration plant for your body. Right now, when that plant fails, we basically only have 2 fallback options. First, there's dialysis. It's kind of like hooking your body up to an external artificial filtration pump. But it's incredibly expensive, it drastically lowers your quality of life, and honestly, it just manages the baseline. It can't replace all the vital functions of a healthy kidney. Then, on the flip side, we have kidney transplants. This swaps out the failing plant entirely. Survival rates are much better, sure, but there's a severe global shortage of organ donors. And even if you manage to get one, there's that ever-present risk of immune rejection, meaning you're on powerful immunosuppressant drugs for the rest of your life. Bottom line, these options create huge burdens. We absolutely need a better way.
Section 3, introducing stem cell therapy. What if, instead of relying on artificial pumps or waiting on lists for rare organ donors, we could just send a biological repair crew right into the failing plant to fix it from the inside out? So, the crucial point here is the specific type of cells the researchers are using, mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs. Now, these aren't just any run-of-the-mill cells. They're highly specialized, capable of secreting growth factors and cytokines. In plain English, they act like tiny chemical messengers. They regulate the cells around them and actively trigger the regeneration of damaged tissue. They are literally the ultimate biological repair crew.
But how exactly do these MSCs pull off this repair job? Well, the researchers highlight 2 super unique attributes. Step 1 is self-renewal. Under the right conditions, these cells just continuously divide and multiply, keeping the repair effort going strong. Step 2, and this is the truly mind-blowing part, is differentiation. These stem cells don't just multiply, they actually physically transform into the exact specific cells the kidney needs to function, whether that's general renal cells, epithelial cells, or endothelial cells. They rebuild the damaged architecture right then and there.
Moving on to Section 4, umbilical cord stem cells, because as it turns out, not all stem cells are created equal.
And this brilliantly illustrates why this paper focuses specifically on umbilical cord stem cells. Traditionally, we'd harvest stem cells from bone marrow or fat tissue, but umbilical cord MCs, they're vastly easier to isolate. Plus, they have the absolute shortest culture time in the lab. This is a real game changer because it makes them far more scalable and accessible. You grow them faster, you grow them more efficiently. It just makes them a vastly superior candidate for widespread clinical use and stem cell banking.
Section 5, real-world patient outcomes. Theory and lab results are great, but what happens when you actually bring this to human patients?
Now, it's important to be objective here. This is still a developing field.
But the early clinical evidence, it's highly promising. The paper points to some foundational human studies. For instance, Raju Sailam and colleagues gave human umbilical cord MSCs to a patient with chronic renal failure and spinal issues. The result was a documented improvement in both kidney function and physical movement. Then you have Deng's team, who showed these cells could safely and effectively treat lupus nephritis, which is a really severe kidney inflammation. This proved the therapy actually works outside of just a petri dish.
But there's one study in particular that really catches the eye. A case study by Riordan and colleagues involved a patient with acute renal failure who was given a staggering dose. Get this, 120 million umbilical cord-derived mesenchymal stem cells, 120 million of those microscopic repair workers sent straight into the bloodstream to target the kidneys.
The follow-up on that massive dose is absolutely compelling. First, the patient's creatinine levels, which is basically the main chemical marker we look at for kidney failure, they significantly decreased. Second, those levels stayed perfectly normal for the entire 6-month follow-up period. And third, which is maybe the most important thing for any experimental medicine, there were exactly 0 adverse side effects reported. The treatment was safe, well-tolerated, and it genuinely worked.
Section 6. The future of care. So, we've seen the crisis, the mechanism, and the clinical success. Where does this leave us? To quote directly from the paper's conclusion, stem cells hold promising potential as a form of regenerative medicine for kidney diseases. Now, obviously, researchers note that challenges remain before we see this in everyday clinical use. It's not a magic pill you can just pick up at the pharmacy today. But once this is fully tested and scaled, we're looking at a profound new tool in the regenerative medicine arsenal.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating question. As this science advances, will regenerative medicine eventually make dialysis completely a thing of the past? Could we see a future where we don't just replace failing organs, but actually command the body to rebuild them? The data we've explored today suggests that future might be a lot closer than we think. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and stay curious.